Adrian Newey looks all but set to sign for Aston Martin today in a press conference. It's been called by the Aston Martin team. There's going to be the Sky F1 cameras there that's going to be covering it live. I think it starts at 11 AM. I imagine they have some sort of build-up from 10:45 as it is on the TV schedule. I'll be watching for sure, and I'm sure a lot of other people who have Sky F1 will be watching too. But, you know, to answer a question a lot of people are going to have when it comes to this signing is, I mean, some people are wondering why. I mean, I've already covered that in another video, but some people will also be wondering, can Aston Martin win a championship with Adrian Newey? You know, is that something that's going to happen? Because ultimately, that's what this is all about. Aston Martin, and particularly Lawrence Stroll, they're not organisations and people that are just going to mess around. They're going to want to win everything. And I have no doubt that they're jealous of the likes of, you know, Red Bull and Mercedes in recent times and how much success they've had. And also how much success that McLaren and Ferrari are having at the moment too. So, you know, are Aston Martin going to win a championship with Adrian Newey? Well, first of all, you've got to ask, you know, you've got to answer the question as to when Adrian Newey can actually affect this car, because Formula 1 teams have a lot of gardening leave, they have a lot of things when it comes to the contracts. I mean, I heard rumours early on this season that Newey, if he joined, whatever team he joined, would not, you know, he'd not actually be able to work for them until 2027. And that's gradually come down over time to the point now where I'm actually hearing that he will be able to work on the car from 2025, i.e. the start of next year. Now, I'm not expecting miracles straight out of the box because, you know, at the end of the day, Aston Martin's car is not very good this season. It's the 5th fastest at best, really. And when it comes to, you know, improving that, Adrian Newey's great, but he's not a miracle worker. You know, he can't. And on top of that as well, he's not going to be someone who's going to mainly be working on that, I imagine. I mean, he's got a team of engineers underneath him. They'll be working on keeping the 2025 car kind of afloat, really, for lack of a better term, because the regulations are static for next year. They're not really changing at all as it is. There might be the odd little thing here and there with like the flexible front wings for Mercedes and McLaren. That might get changed, but that's still not confirmed. So the regulations overall are staying pretty much the same. However, for 2026, they're changing a lot. This is a signing with 2026 in mind, very much so, because we've seen how Adrian Newey can do amazing when it comes to these regulation changes. I mean, look how good that Red Bull was right out of the box in 2022 and 2023 with these current regulations that we have. You know, it's not a coincidence that he was the guy behind that. And you look to the past as well. I mean, these cars have always done really well. Even when Red Bull weren't winning championships, they were winning races. It's very rare through the history of Red Bull they've done badly with Adrian Newey at the helm. They've always shown progression. There's been the odd season like 2015 that's been disappointing, but every season is, you know, every team is due an off season every now and again. But do I think that, you know, Aston Martin are going to win championships with Adrian Newey as the designer? Well, I definitely think there's a possibility for it. I definitely think there's potential for it. I think there's a very high likelihood that, you know, they could have the best car out of the blocks in 2026. We'll only truly know when the first race is, if it's at Bahrain or Australia or somewhere like that. We don't know which race is going to be first yet on the calendar, yet to be decided. But when it comes to actually winning a championship, though, you know, you can have the best designer in the world, but you also need really good drivers. And that's when the question marks for me comes up. Because obviously you've got Lance Stroll in there. He is contracted until 26 at least, as is Fernando Alonso. So in theory, that driver lineup is not going to change until 27 at the earliest. Now, we're hearing a lot of rumours that Fernando Alonso is going to retire after the 2026 season. Now, he's also going to be about 45 years old at that time. And even he surely will not be at the peak of his powers anymore. You know, there's an argument to be made that he's no longer at the peak of his powers now, despite how well he's doing against Lance Stroll. And with that in mind as well, Lance Stroll has not really shown that he's good enough. I mean, there's been times when he's shown talent for sure, but overall, he's been very inconsistent in his F1 career, and that's not really showing many signs of changing. And even if he shows an improvement, right now, I'd say at best, if you put him in the best car on the grid, he's probably going to potentially get a win, the odd win if he gets a lucky break or a good strategy call or a bit of weather or something like that. Aside from that, you can't really see him winning a race, and you certainly can't see him dominating a championship, you know, actually getting him winning the championship. So I think for me, we could well have a situation where Aston Martin have the best car on the grid in 26, but not the calibre of driver because Alonso, frankly, is too old at that point. and Lance Stroll has never been good enough to win a championship, you know, we could end up in a situation like that. So, I mean, but the thing is, Aston Martin off the track, when it comes to designers, they're doing all they can. They're hiring the most successful and arguably the best designer in Formula 1 history to lead their design team. From that point of view, there's a very good chance they could win a championship. But when it comes to the drivers, I feel they need a change. I feel like they'll need a change to win a championship, particularly a Constructors' Championship. But that's my thoughts anyway, guys. Let us know yours in the comments below. And of course, keep subscribed, follow, share, like, comment, and ring the bell as well to see much more F1 content just like this.